Hello, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
For those who don't know me, my name is Amanda. I am one of the sales and marketing managers at ILSC Education Group. And as I said, we are talking with you guys today here from Adelaide. I would like to introduce you to Jennifer Hatcher, our school director here in Adelaide, and Nia Lopez from 7 Migration. And these beautiful ladies will be your hosts for the day.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jennifer. I am the director of the ILSC Adelaide campus. Welcome to the webinar.
My name is Nia Lopez. I'm a registered migration agent since 2006. I'm originally from Brazil, and I'd like to thank you, the school, for having me today and try to assist you a little bit to understand the process about skilled migration. How you're going to study here, and then you're going to apply for a skilled migrant. When you are going to apply for a skilled visa, there is a professional that Australia needs. You have to satisfy first 5 basic requirements. Age, you have to be under 45 years old. English, you have to have what we call the competent English. That's the minimum requirement. That is in the IELTS test. That's one of the most famous one. You have to have 6 in each of the band of the language, the measurements: speaking, reading, writing, and listening. And you have to have 6 in that, or in the PTE, you have to have 50 in each bed. Occupation. Your occupation has to be in the list of the month of occupations in Australia. This list today has more than 500 occupations. So you have plenty to choose from if you are going to start from the scratch. If you're coming here to do your English course, and then, start a pathway, a professional pathway, you have more than 500 occupations to choose from. A nominated occupation that has to be in the list. That is the medium long term or the short term. What's the difference between them? One, I joke that it is the occupation in the most in the extreme demand, and the other in the short demand, but it has to be in one of these lists. Skills assessment. What is it? It is, you have to have your qualifications, your occupation recognized by our organization here in Australia, a body. Just example, if you are an engineer, you're going to have a positive skills assessment from Engineers Australia that says that you are a qualified engineer and you can move to Australia. Each occupation has a different body or organization that give you this document. I always joke that the skills assessment is the green card of the skilled migrant in Australia, because without the skills assessment, there is no visa for you. The end would be 65 points. That 65 points you can achieve based in these requirements that we are seeing. Age. Each group of age gives you a point that starts when you are 22 and you go to 45. Okay, the best group age is between 25 and 32 years old. When you get a little bit older, you lose a little more points. If you are between 40 and 45, you get just 15 points. English. In the beginning, I said you have to have minimum 6 in the competent English. If you have a better English, you get more points. So better English, more points, more chances to get a better visa. Qualified employment. You can get points as well for your work experience. This work experience doesn't need to be in Australia. Can be anywhere in the world. If if you are a professional from overseas and you have years of experience, come to do your English course here or another vocational course or even the university again, a master's degree, you can claim points for your qualifications or for your employment overseas. So that gives you more years of experience, more points you can get. Educational qualifications. There again, if you have a higher qualification, you can get more points. If you have a vocational course that is equivalent to a diploma or a trades qualification, you get the minimum points, that is 10 points. If you have a doctor, if you are a PhD applicant, you have more points. So higher your qualifications, higher your points. Here, that's when Australia really rewards who study here. If you have studied here a master or doctor by research, you can get more points. It's a reward for you that came here and bring knowledge and will bring more experience and probably, make Australia be, how can I say, be more relevant in the overseas market. Okay, if you if you study here in Australia at least 2 years, and it cannot be English, sorry, in this one, has to be minimum a diploma or a trade qualification, but they have to be CRICOS registered for minimum 92 weeks. If you study here in Australia diploma or above, and they are 92 weeks, can be one course or 2 courses, you can get points for that as well. There, studying regional area. Adelaide will give you as a bonus, if you study here these 92 weeks, they will give you 5 points for that. If you have a partner, your partner can assist you to get points too. He can give you, or he or she can give you just points for the English. If they have a competent English, they can give you 5 points. If they have the English and they also have a skills assessment, if they have their qualification recognized by organization here in Australia, they can give you 10 points. And here the good news for the singles, you can have 10 points just because you are single. So when they introduced this, they were very happy people, and some, oh, so I don't need to get married to get a visa. No, you have 10 points just because you are single.
Brilliant.
So it helps a lot. There is a specific test that you can do to be a translator interpreter, and that will give you additional points as well. For people that study here, okay, and they are studied to be accountant or any course of IT or engineering, they can get 5 points if after they finish their bachelor degree or their master's degree, they do what they call professional year. What is a professional year? It is organizations offer a professional year that is a mix of a further qualification as well as work placement. It takes 1 year. Normally you study on weekends and then you have 3 months work placement and you can claim 5 points more. But unfortunately at this moment it's just for accountants, IT and engineers. Nomination and sponsorship. Here comes South Australia, again as a very good place for you to study. When you apply for the visa, and imagine that you did all these points and you didn't get your 65, okay, don't worry. The states, they are happy to assist you to apply for the visa, okay? You can apply for a permanent visa or a temporary visa that will lead for the permanent as well. And the states are more than happy to assist you if you don't have enough points. Imagine that you have just 60 points. It's missing 5. Then you say, oh my God, where am I going to get these 5 points from? All states in Australia can give you the 5 points if you meet the requirement of the state. That's when South Australia comes again. South Australia is very generous with international students. If you study here for 2 years or 1 year, you have a good chance for them to give you the 5 points and you can apply for a permanent visa. But you say to me, oh, I just get 50. And I said, don't worry, okay? South Australia or any other state still can give you 15 points as a bonus, since you satisfy their requirements. Most of the states today, they reward you with 5 points or 15 points if you study in the state and if you work in the state. So it's important when you are going to, choose your career, when you're going to study, to choose where you are going to study, do your little research, see which state is, has your occupation, because that's another point that I didn't mention. Each state has its own list of occupations. So I'm just going to give you an example. You want to study to be a enrolled nurse. And then you say, oh, okay, there is a Western Australia has the course. But you have to see if when you finish this course, Western Australia will assist you to apply for a visa. Because if it's not in their list, they can help you. So it's important for you to look which state is sponsoring your occupation. And that's when South Australia has a huge list of occupations. It's almost impossible for you to not find one in South Australia. So that's a big advantage in regional areas like all state of South Australia is, because they can give you 5 points or 15 points. And there is opportunity as well for if you have a family member living in a regional area, that they can assist you to apply for the visa as well, and they can give you 15 points. So when you decide to study in Australia, it's really important that you do a little bit of your research, talk to your school, your education agent, that will assist you to choose the right place to study, and to choose the right pathway. If you are already a professional that you just want to, to update your knowledge and you want to stay here and or even improve your English, it's important for you as well to do your course in an area that will assist you to migrate to Australia. South Australia at this moment is one of the favorite states because, as I said in the beginning, we have a long list of occupations. We reward students, international students that came here to study, and we offer a big, we have enough, schools here that one of them will be able to satisfy the requirements of your occupation, of your dream. And I'm right, Jane?
Absolutely, yeah. I always say to our students, as long as you, the hardest part really is probably studying enough English, but once you've got English, you really are, the doors are open, and it really is, South Australia really has a lot more opportunities than any other states. And like I say, both Nia and I are not Australians, so we've had to find our own way, and certainly Nia must have had her own English language journey as well.
Oh, yes, a long one.
So yeah, it's definitely rewarding, and certainly for me, this is the only state that I've seen with so many skills being offered, or what you have to bring to South Australia. Yeah.
And I always say to my students, English is the base of everything. even to find your job here in the beginning. If you have, and the government, the federal government, the states governments, they really, want you to be able to speak and to communicate and be able to put yourself in the labor market, because they need you. They have more than 500 occupations that they are willing to, to take you in, but you have to speak English. And the basic is come, study English, make your English good, and all doors will be open, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so when you do all this that I said, you have your English, you have your occupation recognized by organization here in Australia, you studied here, you have your employment, you can apply for a permanent visa. That's your dream, to stay here forever, okay? And become a citizen one day if you want. At this moment, Australia offers 2 permanent visas. The visa 189 that we call the skill independent. This visa at this moment, it's really focused on 18 occupations, most of them directed to the health sector. We have some occupations in the IT sector, engineering, infrastructure, but most of them, okay? You just need to satisfy the 65 points without the help of a state. But if you remember in the beginning, I said that we have to have, Australia has a list and demand, and this list is divided in medium long term and short term. You can apply for this visa, the permanent visa, only if your occupation is in the medium long term. If it is not, you are going to need some help from the states. Then the states can offer you the permanent visa as well. Doesn't matter if your occupation is in the medium long term or if your occupation is in the short term, but has to be in the state list. That's what I said again. Each state has its own occupation. South Australia today has the longest list, together with Tasmania and North Territory. Okay? So, but South Australia at this moment is one of the most generous states in Australia to give you a permanent visa. As I said, if you have 60 points and you satisfy South Australia or other state requirement, they can give you 5 points as a bonus for you to apply for permanent visa. So that's a very good pathway to come. If you are a professional already, you can look at your occupation and see if South Australia is offering that occupation and try to meet all the other requirements. If you don't meet, come study here, get more points, improve your English, and South Australia will be happy to sponsor you for a permanent visa if you satisfy the requirements. So basically what we are trying to tell you today is that Australia is still a wonderful destination for you to come to study and to apply for a skilled visa. We offer different other visas as well. We have employer-sponsored visas that are visas that the companies can sponsor you, but we are focusing permanent visas today because most of people come to study here first, and these visas are perfect for you if you come to study, if you want to start your career and build your life here in Australia. Today as well, South Australia offers the visa, a temporary visa. Do you remember when I said if you have 50 points, South Australia still can give you 15 or any other state to you to apply for a temporary visa, the 491. Okay. What is, everyone says to me, but Mia, this is a temporary visa, I want a permanent visa. Okay, don't worry, you're going to get your permanent visa. How? This visa is a very good visa. South Australia has been, I would say to you, populated by a lot of migrants that came in this visa previously. This visa today is a visa for 5 years visa. Okay, you imagine. I will give an example that will make it a little bit easier to understand. You apply for the visa as nurse, and you get the temporary visa for 4 years. This visa, when it is approved, gives you the Medicare. That is the health.
Medicare?
Yeah, it's the
Healthcare benefits.
The healthcare benefits of Australia. Okay, so you don't have to have a private health insurance. You can use the Medicare. 5 years visa, you can work full time. How you apply for the permanent visa? You have to work for 3 years in any occupation. Let's say that you're a nurse and you want to have a little break and you can work in any other field, any other sector. Doesn't matter. You can work in any occupation for 3 years, have an income of $54,000, then you can apply for the permanent visa. You don't need to wait the 5 years to apply for the permanent visa. You have 5 years visa straight away. But if you work the first 3 years and make $54,000 per year, you can apply for the permanent visa. That's one of the visas that we have a lot of international students that they apply for this visa because they have just the 50 points. South Australia is generous, give you the 15 points, and then you can apply for this visa. And in 3 years, you can apply for the permanent visa. So it, at this moment, is one visa for international students that are using this visa. DAMA, okay, a very famous program that's offered by Western Australia, North Territory, Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria, and South Australia. I have lots and lots of inquiries from international students for this DAMA. DAMA is really not a visa. It is an agreement between the state governments and the federal government that they need works, to come to their regions to develop specifically regional areas. Okay, so the governments, if most of these visas are, this program is used especially for areas that need occupations that are not in the list of demand. So the state government said, please, we need these occupations here, and then they make agreements. DAMA is a program. For you to apply for a visa under the DAMA program, you must have a company that sponsors you. International students here in Australia, when this program was they made a huge fuss about this program last year and the year before. They start to move around Australia. I'm going to North Territory, I'm going to South Australia, I'm going there because they have DAMA. Just again, do your little research, because before you moved into a state that has the DAMA, you have to see if you have a company that's willing to sponsor you under this program. Why it's used? Because that's the only, for the skilled migrant program, you cannot be older than 45 years old. And this program, the DAMA, offers for applicants that depends on your occupation and depends on the occupation that you are being sponsored, you can apply for the permanent visa up to 55 years old. South Australia is one of the states that offers a lot of occupations that you can apply. Even if you are 45, you have to be under 55. So if you are a professional, you have some experience, you are over 45, you can look through the DAMA That's the program. See if your occupation is there. See if you can find a job specifically here in South Australia, and then you can apply for the 482. That's a provisional visa again. But from this provisional visa in the beginning, you can go for a temporary visa even if you are over 45 years old. So that was a program to assist the regional areas, to assist companies that really need a workforce that do not meet the skilled migrant program. It's a good option, and look carefully if you can satisfy the requirements if you don't fit under the skilled migrant. So I'll pass to now.
I'll give you an opportunity to have some water. That was a lot of information, really, really interesting. And Nia's right. It does really start with coming over here and studying English to get your English level, proficiency level up enough to be able to take on further opportunities for the visa. At ILSC, we actually offer a wide variety of courses, including general English, EAP, IELTS, Cambridge, PTE. So generally, our students will come and start studying general English, and then that will prepare them to start the academic classes such as English for academic purposes, EAP, IELTS, Cambridge. We also have electives. Our unique selling point is our wide variety of electives that we have, including conversation and pronunciation, grammar and writing classes, public speaking classes, to give you the confidence to speak like Nia and I are attempting to speak at the moment. We have cafe skills class, as I said earlier, so you can learn how to make coffee and get yourself into the hospitality industry here for a job whilst you're studying. We also offer English through Adelaide, so we have classes where we can take students out to explore the local area. At the moment, we are offering face-to-face classes with our students who are currently in Australia, but we are also offering online classes for our students or potential students who are overseas at the moment, as well as simulcast classes, which are classes that our teachers run face-to-face with a camera in the classroom. So you get the classroom experience with students who are here. We do, of course, have the exam course preparation, which is the full and part-time study options for you there. And those courses, again, are EAP, Cambridge, and IELTS. And actually what we do, where we're really the first port for students, where they come in to study English with us, whether they are a beginner level or an intermediate level student. We can prepare students to open sorry, I was reading Gustavo's message. We can prepare our students to go on to universities, any of our pathway partners that we have. One of the great perks of being able to do this, we have over 60 partners in Australia, and we actually are able to, when our students graduate from English with us, they can go off and they can study business courses, cookery courses, nursing courses, a huge variety of courses. One of the easiest ways to get in is the fact that we have all of these partners, and it means that students do not have to do an IELTS test or a PTE test, because our partners, they are trusted partners, and they trust that we will get our students to come in, study English with us, study the academic preparation courses, have a great attendance rating, and succeed at the level that the pathway partner is looking for. And so that is really a direct entry. And as I said, that's 160 partner schools that ILSC Greystone College actually has around the world, in Canada, Australia, and the US. And we have had successful students finish studying English with us and actually go over to Vancouver to study film, nursing, really a variety of things there. So it's really, we help you to open the door to partnerships, and then those partnerships where you gain your additional qualifications will help you open doors into other industries here. And just to point out, we do have our own pathway partners in Adelaide alone, quite a few there. They teach cookery. We've got business schools, graphic design, TAFE SA, Torrens and Flinders University that you see there. They offer a huge range of courses from studying mechanical engineering, you know, all the way up to their graduate diplomas, bachelor's, master's as well. We have a student at the moment who's just successfully graduated from our university pathway program, and she's going to study actually a Bachelor of Computer Science, which, wow, as Nia, you said, you know, technology really is the doors are open here, you know, and so that's fantastic news for her. So yeah.
Okay. Thanks a lot, ladies, for sharing all this information with us today. I think it's really important for everyone to know that we have some students, we have some agents, we have lots of people here participating on this webinar today. So it's been a lot of info. Thank you so much. And we are now open for questions. So I got 2 questions here. And the first one, I think it's more directed to Jen. Can a student study English with ILSC and move to another provider after to study a course that leads to migration?
Absolutely, yes. And this is exactly what I said with the pathway. You know, if you study English with us, then we assist you to, we'll share our partners with you, what course you're looking for, and we can direct you in that direction. And you know, if you choose one of our partners, you don't need to do the IELTS test. You know, it really is, generally it's a minimum of 12 weeks of an EAP or IELTS course, so one of our academic courses. Your attendance must be above 80%, just because that's the student condition requirements, and shows that you're a genuine student, and also achieve the level requirement of the course that you're going to study. So I can tell you that for the majority of courses that students go on to study after English, that might be a diploma, a bachelor's, a master's, the minimum level requirement would be an IELTS 5.5 equivalent there, so an upper intermediate.
And not just reinforce, as James said, not having to do the IELTS test is a big relief, because what I can see, my experience, is not that they probably don't know, it's just the stress of the test, you know, and even the financial, because sometimes they do have to do 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So we're studying a course that we will lead you, you know, to a further study without needing to have to do the test. Yes. I will do the course, believe me.
Another question that we have here is, Nia, I think that's most for you. What is the most popular visa that people are applying now in South Australia in order to get a pathway to permanent residency?
Yes, it's the famous 491, you know, the provisional visa. It's more because a lot of our students are still very young, so they cannot, you know, reach the minimum 60 points. So South Australia assists them with the 15 points. And as well, because that's more a tendency that the 491 will become a big visa, because the federal government wants, you know, the applicants, the migrants, to stay in regional areas. And with this visa being a regional visa, and you have to stay in the regional area for 3 years before you can move on, it is, you know, making the government meet the criteria to develop the regional areas.
There's another question, and I think this one is for you as well, Nia. So what would you recommend to study after the English courses? Cookery or nursing? I do believe this person is asking more into a relation to PR migration.
Okay, both pathways are good. We just saw recently that the federal government include the tourism and hospitality in one of the critical sectors that need more professionals. And of course, the health sector is still a big demand, because unfortunately, there is a big turnover of employees. So I think it's more what I always say, study what your heart as well tells you to do. Because sometimes my experience, they just go and study a course because of the visa and they are not happy, they get depressed. So between the two of them, they are good options, but do what, touch your heart a little bit more.
Right. So there's another question here, and I think I can help you ladies with this one. There's a person asking if international students can work while studying in Australia. And the answer is yes. Students are allowed to work part-time during their studies, different from other countries. In Australia, while you're doing your English course, yes, you do have a work permit to work part-time here. So this really helps the students, not just, of course, to make money, but with speaking, it's amazing. Listening, it's amazing, because you will be working with other international students and as well with Australians. So this is the richest opportunity that you can have, to be honest, because you will be working with people that are probably in the same situation as you. So everyone is on the same boat and needs to improve the language. As Nia and Jen have been saying since the beginning of the webinar, English is step one. So everyone in Australia, they have to have a certain English level to be able to find better jobs, to be able to study other courses, for example, and also to become a permanent resident and later on an Australian citizen. So yes, students can work while they're studying. We have tons of questions, to be honest, but we only have another 5 minutes. So there's another person here asking about the link of the occupations list. So we will be sending this together with the recording. So don't worry about it, guys. Everything, it's been processed here. I can see all the questions. So all these specific questions that take time for us to answer, we will be sending together with the thank you email. There's a lot of people asking if they need lawyers for the process, Nia. So please explain to them how the process can be done.
Okay, I wish they need it, but they really, of course, when you use a migration agent to assist you with your migration application, you are here in Australia, you can just provide migration advice if you are registered with the MARA. So when you are using a registered migration agent, you have absolutely certainty that the agent is following the law and is making sure that you satisfy all requirements to apply for that visa. Okay, we cannot guarantee that your visa is going to be approved because the final decision is from the Department of Immigration, but we make sure that all boxes are ticked. But you do not have to use a migration agent if you want to do yourself. You should, of course, but it's not a law requirement for you to use a migration agent. You just want to be sure that your application, meets all requirements of the law.
And let's have one last question to wrap up. And I really thank everyone who's been sending me messages on the chat. So I will reply to everyone, and I will leave my email here once again. If you guys want to get in touch with us, please send me an email. So last question is, where is it? Can a student move from one regional area to another regional area in a different state with the 491 visa?
Okay, the legislation says that you should stay in the state that has approved your 491. If you want to move, you need to ask permission for that state to release you from the state sponsorship. At this moment, the states are not giving you this release letter. Because the state gave you the 15 points bonus for you to stay in that state. That's why they sponsored you and they gave you this visa. If you want to move, you have to seek release letter that states are not giving. And the other very important thing, very quickly, if you are granted a 491, be sure that if you move address or you move employment, or if you change employment, you notify immigration within 14 days. It is a condition of your visa. If you don't do this, you can face visa cancellation. And I know that day by day you get so busy and you forgot, but it's very important for people that have been granted the 491 to notify immigration within 14 days. And we have cases that they forgot. Of course, always there could have been a good reason, but be careful with that.
Beautiful. So we have some other students asking if they can continue their studies online, even if they're not in the country. Yes, you can. ILSC has been granting online and simulcast classes, especially for those students who were locked outside the country. So yes, please continue with your studies. And also some others are asking if students can come within partner visas. Yes, partner visas are welcome in Australia as well. And the partner and the student, they will both be granted with a part-time working permit. So yes, I think that answers the last two questions that I got here in the chat. Ladies, I thank you so much for today. Nia, thank you for accepting this challenge.
Thank you for
Jen,
the opportunity. I hope I didn't speak it too fast and they can understand.
it was amazing. Thanks, Jen, as well, for always opening up Adelaide campus for us to be able to bring fast speakers. And everyone is asking about when Australia border will be open, and I think
that
that's
question.
question.
It's our favorite question.
We don't know. I wish we had the information. I really did. So for now, we don't know. But as soon as we have any news, we will be communicating through social media